Welcome to my Garden of Suds. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Today we are going to be making a oatmeal bar. So to start this bar, we're going to go ahead and get the lye water, temp down, mix together all of that. And of course, melt down the oil. The recipe will be in the description. I got this recipe actually from our perfect little hand model. She loved oatmeal, and not just any oatmeal. It has to have coconut milk in it. I ended up adding coconut milk to the lye, which the lye actually hardened the coconut oil, and it was kind of difficult to get it out of the container. You guys can see it just completely just came out in some small chunks. I had to put this thing down and actually scrape it. I have made this recipe about 12 times, and each time it's been different. This has been the biggest batch that I've made. I've made smaller ones for, you know, little individual bars. When I did this batch, I wasn't expecting the coconut milk to harden. The last few times I've done this, it was still liquidy. It would kind of harden up in some areas, but not the whole entire thing. So at this point, you're going to want to make sure you have glasses on or something to protect your eyes, and maybe a face mask. I didn't have any of it, and just a heads up, since the coconut milk did harden, it will, if you hit it right with the blender, it will pop. So after you guys mix it together, you guys are going to want to temp the lye oil, and where we want it is between 125 and 120 degrees. We want it around there, so when we add the oats, which we added 2 cups of oats, and I'm using a whisk to, you know, whisk it in. The temperature of it will keep the oats nicely. It won't have the oats sink. It won't have the oats float. It'll submerge perfectly in the soap, where it'll be everywhere in it. So after you guys do all that, go ahead and grab your mold. I'm using a simple little bar mold here, and just pour it in. I didn't show you guys this, but after you guys pour it in, make sure you guys spray the top with rubbing alcohol or witch hazel. When you do that, it'll still prevent air bubbles from getting in. Not just that, but it will also prevent it from having soda ash on top, which obviously no one wants. You get that, and it's one of those Google, come save my soap. After you guys pour the soap in, you guys are going to want to grab it and pound the bottom of it on a table or something hard. It'll level it off, and it'll get out if there's any air bubbles, it'll come out. Then what we're going to want to do after that is get some oats and put a nice little layer of oats right on top. We want to put it up somewhere for 3 to 5 days so it can harden. After the 3 to 5 days, this is what the top is going to look like. There's going to be some oats that might fall off that didn't stick in the soap. That's perfectly fine. Alright, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've dealt with this mold numerous times, and every time I am struggling at pulling the soap out of the mold every time. If you know the best way of doing it, or an easier way, jump down in the comments, let me know. I had to take this thing off camera for probably about 5 minutes after messing with it for 5 minutes on camera, and it finally came out. And you know, this soap actually turned out a lot better than I've actually done before. Like I said, I've done this soap 12 times before, small individual bars, nothing really this big, and I'm still astonished on how well it actually turned out. Like I said, you're gonna have some oats that are gonna fall off. Don't worry about it, it's perfectly fine. After you pull the soap out of the mold, put it down, grab something you feel comfortable enough cutting the soap with. I'm using a knife. When you first start cutting the soap like this, make sure you cut off the ends. They don't really look too good to use or show. And you can't really get a true cut until you make the first bar cut. I like you cutting them probably about 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch, depending on the bar and what's in it. Now, I'm gonna go ahead, cut the rest of this, and then show you on how this soap actually looks like on the inside. After you cut the soap, I just grab one from the middle. I like doing that. That way there you guys can actually see what's actually in it. And the oats did perfectly by floating in the soap. Now let's go ahead and try the soap, see how well it lathers. This soap lathered perfectly, like you guys are about to see. It was a nice creamy feeling. It was just perfect. So do me a favor, jump down in the comments, like this video, and of course subscribe to the Garden of Suds. Until next time.